My name is Sierra Hillsman. I'm a licensed professional counselor as well as a certified clinical trauma professional. And I typically have my therapy Thursdays every Thursday. It's conversations with entrepreneurs, business owners, as well as other fellow clinicians as we dive into mental health in a practical way. And so tonight we're going to talk to a good friend of mine, Steve Barge, and we are going to discuss options trading, especially with it being Financial Literacy Month. Please let the people know who you are and a little bit about Barge Consulting as well.
Yeah, so my name is Stephen Barge. I'm a serial entrepreneur, but we're talking about Barge Consulting today. So more specifically, Barge Consulting is a financial literacy community that I formed during COVID. So initially, I've been investing in stocks for maybe the past 10 years. And I was just having regular conversations with people, and I was realizing a lot of people wasn't educated on investing or even just options trading in general. So once I started posting some of my progress and things, a lot of people really wanted to know and learn about it. And I used to send people YouTubes and things like this, here's some resources, things like this. But it wasn't really helpful for them because a lot of times those YouTube education videos, they're kind of high level. So what I did was I actually created a course, and then instead of just creating a course and selling people a course and just leaving them high and dry, I created a community with it. So with the course, we pretty much get access to community. This time last year, we started off with 10 people in the community. Now it's grown to 2,600 members right now. So, overall, we focus on long-term investing as well as short-term investing, which is options trading. And then it just took off. It actually grew a lot more quicker than I expected. So my goal was just I was small scaling it, and I was just whoever, joins and whoever wants to learn this, they can join the community, they can get the course, and I educate them, and then it just kind of took off. So now I have people in Germany, Brazil, Canada. It's people all over the world in the community. So it's been an exciting journey just to kind of sit back and educate folks, and really just kind of dive in. A lot of this financial literacy that's being taught is not being taught in school. I actually was an accounting grad. I went to Voorhees College, which is a small HBCU in South Carolina. And my accounting professor, he actually was a trader. So I learned a lot of the terminology behind trading, like intrinsic value, extrinsic value, open interest, things like that a lot of people don't really learn. But I also didn't see the value in it. So I was kind of 18, 19, so I wasn't really taking it serious. So after college, I started kind of investing long-term, and then I actually saw the power of just really investing consistently to the point where I moved from South Carolina to Atlanta. I was able to use my profits from stocks to actually furnish my whole first apartment, and pay my security deposit. So I was just okay, this is good. And then I kind of got more strategic with my investing and started, kind of being more consistent with it. And then from there, it just kind of been a lifestyle now.
Love it. There were two things that stood out to me when you said that. Excuse me, I have the clinician hat on, so I'm just going to be picking and choosing certain things that stand out to me. But not only did you invest in yourself financially, but you also invested in yourself professionally, developmentally. And that's one thing that I absolutely love about the community and the course, because I'm one of the 20-something thousand people that are in your community. And so just to be able to see it grow and to see it manifest and unfold the way that it has. And for anybody who is interested, please make sure that you are hitting the link in my bio. That way you can go ahead and grab that bundle, because it's one thing to learn the course and the material by yourself, but it's another thing to tap in and plug in and be motivated from a community standpoint, which is major. And so there are just a couple of things that I noticed from the course perspective, or even when it comes to protecting your mental health with trading, because it is a beast, right? Yes. It is a huge beast. But the first thing that I noticed was just the fear of missing out, right? So the chat is moving and it's going. You see everybody getting their profits in their games. You even have the Carl Thomas room where it's just
people crowd their losses in there. Yep.
And so I think that's very important to be mindful of, because one thing that I remember reading in a book talked about like psychology of trading, how
Mhm.
like when everybody rushes in and it's driving up the price of a stock, or when people are leaving out and that's impacting how much something is valued. Can you talk a little bit about the psychology of trading and how you help people work through that?
Yeah, so the biggest thing is I tell people when they're getting started investing, especially, it doesn't matter your background demographic, but especially African Americans, when it comes to us, people of color in general, a lot of times our mindsets is when it comes to investing in the market, investing in anything that's risky, it's kind of like we come in with the mindset of how can I not lose my money,
Mm-hmm.
versus how can I grow my money, how can I build wealth from this tool or this instrument. It's the same with real estate, same with investing. But I tell a lot of people when you're starting to invest, it's the hardest thing is a lot of people ask what stocks to pick. They kind of overcomplicate things, like what brokers to pick. Like that's easy. That's the easiest thing. Like you got to find out which one is comfortable for whatever your goal is. If you plan to be a long-term investor, that's great. You can pick really any platform for that. If you plan to trade, it's more specific platforms that may be better for trading. Once you get over that barrier, it's straight emotional. Just because a lot of people think, okay, well, I can put my money in and I'm gonna make a lot of money right away. And yes, you can, but you can also lose a lot of money too. So the biggest
Mm-hmm.
thing is when you're coming in is mastering your emotions. Within our community, I always stress, I go on these rants about really avoiding the fear of missing out. Because a lot of times there's over thousands of stocks that's on the stock market. But the biggest thing is, like, sometimes it's okay to sit still. Like a lot of times I say it, and Elena, who's in the community also, we say cash is a position also. It's okay to kind of sit still, and just relax. You don't have to trade every day. As far as long-term investors, you're just buying and holding, so it's kind of like once you actually master your emotions, you become a better trader,
Yes.
and you become a better long-term investor. If you're investing for the long time, you need to be looking at stocks mentally. You need A lot of people just say, okay, well, I want to buy these stocks. Once I make money off it, I'm gonna sell it. If you're long-term investing, you should be focused on 5 to 10 year growth. And that's why I tell people straight up, like 5 to 10 year growth, that's what you should be focused on, more specifically. When it comes to options trading, that's a little bit different. So as far as options trading, you can lose your money as quick as you make it. And that's why I like our community also, because we have the Carl Thomas room. It's transparent. It's no fluff. Like, even I post losses too. So I share that, hey, you can lose money, but we also practice good management skills too. So the psychology behind trading is the most important part, because you really have to dig deep, and you have to know your goal. The biggest thing is really knowing your goal, and also managing those emotions, knowing that this is an instrument, this is a tool to create a better put your family in a better financial position, versus really just putting your cash in the bank. If you're putting your cash in a savings account, you're not really growing your money. But if you're putting it in the stock market, it's growing over time. It's growing at either 6%, 9%, 11%, 11% rate. And with options, you can you can grow your money at a 600% rate. We've
Yeah.
seen those type of days. So I think the biggest thing is really just, when you're first starting out, if you're completely new, focus on 2 to 3 stocks, not going everywhere, because not going or running and trying to catch everything or trade everything just because it may be a hot stock. And honestly, I avoid the hot stocks. Like things that's in the news, that means it's already done ran hot. I focus on the
Yeah.
hidden gems. Like the things that's selling off for the day, I'm going to go buy those, because they may be selling off today, but it's going to recover. And once it's recovered, I'm playing the recovery. So it's kind of like, you don't really want to play what's hot, all the time, because if it's in the media, you too late. And a
Yeah.
lot of people don't realize what really runs the stock market is banks and financial institutions. So if they're already priced in, and they're already hit, and they have hedge funds, you have analysts, you have people that's pricing in a lot of different things, they're a ball ahead of us. So what I try to focus on, even on the community, is we're trading what they're trading. We're going where the money is. We're not really, but we're also being strategic about it. And I think that's the biggest thing. When people first get in the community, it's overwhelming, because it's a lot of people making thousands of dollars, $2,000, and you just be like, man, I want to make that money too. But I think the biggest thing that helps with your emotions is paper trading. I tell people, create a paper trading account. Start off, you know, you can do that on TD Ameritrade, or you can do that on E-Trade, and you can practice your investment strategies before you actually use your money in the market. And also, if you're learning technical analysis, you're trying to do charts, you can use paper trading to kind of master your emotions. And it's a little bit different. Some people I talk to, they just say, hey, I'd rather just use my own money because I'll learn if I lose money. And it's some people that's like that. But
Yeah.
but I always say, hey, if you're gonna get in the market, paper trade, focus on that first, and then actually use your money so you can build up your confidence. Because the biggest thing is, if you're doing something and you're not confident in it, especially trading, you're gonna feel like you're gambling. And a lot of people feel like you're gambling. And if the stock market feels like gambling to you, you're doing it wrong, pretty much.
Yeah. Definitely. And so there was a number of gems in there. So I hope y'all have y'all notebooks. And if you're watching the replay, please run it back. So even from like a clinical perspective, when you are entering into like a therapeutic relationship, you're starting off with a treatment plan. You have your goals and you have your objectives. And it's literally essentially the same thing as you are entering into the stock market. Identify your goals and your objectives, whether it's short-term or long-term. Pick up SMART, right? So
Mhm.
specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-oriented. So applying that same mindset to that as well. The cool thing is the way that you lay out the course is you talk about reviewing the technical analysis, the
Mhm.
MACD, the RSIs, all of those things. And those are literal numbers in time. And so it's kind of like when we were doing like the power of the reframe, when we're checking the validity of our thoughts, when we're coming against anxiety or depression or anything else, you're essentially using what's factual in this very moment to combat all of those self-sabotaging thoughts, all of those things that fuel the fear of missing out or feeling as though you are outside of the community or feeling as though that you're behind. And so I
Mhm.
definitely encourage anybody who is jumping into the market for like slowing down a little bit, pausing, checking in with yourself, using those mindfulness techniques, doing a quick body scan. If you are not feeling too good about a trade, how's that showing up in your heart rate? How's that showing up in the way that you're breathing? Do you feel stressed out? Are you tense? Are you over there, messaging Steve, like,
Yeah.
what should I do? So just check in with yourself and settle in before you make irrational decisions when you're trading.
Mhm. And then also, I just want to share a quick gem for the people that don't know about options trading and what it is. I'll give a little background, if you don't mind, on that. So with options trading, as far as stock investing, typical stock investing, basic investing, you're buying a stock and you're investing in that company. You own shares, you have ownership in that company, and you're investing in that company, you're a shareholder, and you're hoping that company stay profitable so they can have future growth, they can pay you dividends, and that stock, the share price will go up over time. With options, it's a little bit different. It's less of a commitment. We're kind of borrowing with, instead of shares, it's considered contracts, and we're borrowing 100 shares of the underlying stock with one contract. So what this pretty much means is, in short, and I teach this to a lot of different people. In short, if pretty much options, you're betting whether a stock share price is going to go up or down. So if you're thinking the share price is going to go up, you're going to do a call option. If you're thinking the share price is going to go down, you're going to do a put option. So this gives us opportunity to leverage the stock market on both sides, where before a lot of things were, well, not even before, options have been around for years, but really most people are just educated on buying stock, holding it forever. So when the pandemic first hit and the stock market was crashing, I was making thousands of dollars off puts. And people were like, how are you making $3,000 in a day? And I'm like, yo, I'm doing options. And they were just like, what is that? So with options, it gives you a little bit more leverage because these one contracts equals 100 shares. So let's just picture, like, for example, if I was going to get a call on Apple, it may cost $400 to own one contract of those 100 shares. But if you were going to buy 100 shares of Apple, that would cost you, thousands of dollars of money, to get. So options give us a lot more leverage, and that's why we make a lot more money quicker. But I tell a lot of people, when you're getting involved, you just want to also focus on your strategy, focus on really mastering everything before you actually get into the market. It's easy to get overwhelmed and try to make money, but you want to actually kind of take the time to actually learn the skill, because I've been able to master this skill, leave corporate America, and then help thousands of other people do this. So when I was just, it was funny. I was just at I was at Enterprise because my car had gotten a little wreck. So I was getting a rental, my replacement rental. And the woman was just like, what's your occupation? Or who's your employer? And it was my first time really saying it, like, oh yeah, I work for myself, Barge Consulting. So she was just like, oh, okay, wow. Like, she was like, so we got into like, what did I do and things like that. But it's crazy because this investing in the stock market aggressively and really just consistently gave me the opportunity to not put me in a better financial position, but I also was able to educate my brother. I educated my mom, educated, a lot of people that's close to me to let them know like, hey, your money is active income, that's earned income. But we're focused on growing passive income because we work hard. You go to your job every day, you work hard. It's a lot on your mental. You're stressed out. Your boss on your neck. You got a lot of different things. So why not take some of that money that you're getting paid every 2 weeks and put it in the stock market and let it work for you? And then it gives you a little bit of cushion, a little bit of growth. So if you do happen to want to leave or you don't really like your employer, you got $10K sitting here in an account that you can live off until you find out what you really have a passion for or what you wanted to do. Even if you have a career change, that gives you an opportunity to change careers. The biggest thing is really people mastering their finances and, being able to leverage those things. So the stock market gives you that ability to have that passive income.
Even when we were talking about that, I was just thinking about wellness, will, and counseling. So essentially, it's telling us that we operate in 8 different domains, like financial wellness being one of them. And even when we were talking about that, it's just like the sense of freedom, which is often associated with like spiritual wellness. So spiritual wellness is more than just your relationship with your higher power, but also your relationship with your purpose, who you are, and how you show up in the universe. And so for you being intentional about investing in yourself, whether it's like through the material or even investing in your bank accounts and all that jazz, that has helped you to be able to go out and help other individuals. And it just is an example of how healing is so revolutionary. It's not an isolated thing. It's just like when individuals take the time to invest in their mental health, to see a therapist or to go get treatment or whatever the case may be. The changes that you're doing now is impacting future generations, but also the circles around you. So I love that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is there any questions, y'all? Drop them in the chat, whether it's about options trading or even just mental health in general. Nope. Oh, we're just going to keep on rolling.
It's cool. It's cool. We'll probably get some DMs after this session. That's how it always goes most of the time.
Exactly. Also, you have a mastermind. Can you please tap into that as well? Let people know about your mastermind.
Talking a lot and get caught now. But yeah, so with the Mastermind Investing, so with so many people in the community, I do online tutoring. So I do one-on-one tutoring via Zoom, and I also do. Someone asked, where do you scan for stock options? You can use FinViz to scan for different stocks to trade. That's what I use, finviz.com. That's a good screener. TD Ameritrade has one too. But yeah, so yeah, as far as the mastermind investing was pretty much made just really so I can provide more mentorship for everyone. So in that it's kind of like people that's more focused on different investing styles. It can be long-term investing, ETFs, long-term, as well as retirement investing, or even just if you're focused on spreads, things like that. We talk about various topics within that community, and all of those Zoom calls are recorded. So you have assets, and what I'm pretty much doing is building up a Barge Consulting library of video content of different stock topics, related topics. So if you're a member of the Mastermind Investing, you automatically get invites to these sessions, which are Zoom calls. And if you happen to miss it, you still can play back recordings. I also bring on other people who's educated in different fields, and they kind of share their things. I think we did one with crypto a while ago. We did one on penny stocks with Dr. Ross, and that was pretty good. So it just really, it's so many instruments. When people think about the stock market, they think about just stocks, but you got stocks, you got options, and there's different strategies within those two vehicles that you can leverage. You know, you got long-term investing, short-term investing. With options, you got leaps. Leaps are pretty much contracts that's longer than 1 year, 2 years, where you're kind of playing the same long-term game with options that you would as far as in the stock market. And then, of course, you got, you know, your regular long-term investing. You got scalping, which is different strategies too, where you're
Yeah,
day trading.
spreads as well.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. And you're day trading in the stock, and you're sitting in a current position, you know, no longer than 30 minutes and just taking profits at maybe 20, 30%. So it's different ways to make money in the stock market. And with that mastermind investing, it gives me a more hands-on with everyone who's interested in kind of growing their account. No matter what your investing strategy, a lot of people think it's a myth that you need thousands of dollars to invest in the stock market. You can literally, now we have fractional shares, so you can go invest in the market using fractional shares or anything. So it's a lot of different instruments, but that mastermind investing course, membership, it gives you a lot of more insight on different investing strategies that I don't share in my courses. So it's definitely been helpful. It's growing. That's growing too. I didn't expect that to grow so quickly either. So everything's just been growing pretty quickly. And I just love the support from the community. Everyone just pretty much, shout out to Shell. He talking about verify this man. What up, bro? But yeah, man, it's been crazy. And my biggest thing is really just, I'm trying to reach the masses. So with the mastermind investing, for the people that really serious, that want to kind of grow and learn different investing strategy, that's a tool for them. But what I do is I just keep running. You know, my motto is really just running my race. So I just focus on giving value. I did that for like a year. I just kind of put my head down, focus on different things. That I got a few more things that I'm about to do in the community. We're about to open up a crypto channel. So there's been a lot of crypto hype. But I also, everyone's been asking me in the community already, but I don't want to open a crypto channel without some of the people being educated. So it's 2,000 folks in there, but it's different age groups too. So I don't want people to feel overwhelmed. So I am going to roll out affordable crypto course. It may be like $10, $15 for everyone in the community. And, you know, if you get that course, you're getting the education, and then you can join in, and then we can kind of mentor you on the crypto journey too.
I just love the way that everything is set up in levels, kind of like in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? For y'all who slept in social psychology class, you know, the basic needs were like your food, your clothing, your shelter, and all that jazz. And then after that, you have like your esteem needs, and then you also have like love and belonging and everything like that. Essentially, it's saying like before you get to self-actualizing, you need to hit the foundation. You need to address the stuff that's at the bottom. And for you to be able to say like, no, we're going to be intentional about what we learn. We're going to be intentional about learning information and turning it into applied knowledge, which is wisdom. I love how you are empowering your community to do that in that manner.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, love it. So one question that I ask each and every individual that I interview: how are you tending to your own personal mental health?
Good question. And it's crazy. I might need to book a session with you. So what I have learned, and this is gonna be a long spiel. I'm long-winded, but so what I've learned is, before I didn't know depression was really real. So I've always been a strong friend. Everyone called me, yo, Steve, I got advice, business advice, this and that. And one of my little brother, he actually passed from muscular dystrophy in 2019. And that was my first time experiencing real life depression. So when he passed, it was just like, it was kind of crazy, just because it affected my family a lot. My mom was his nurse, so that affected her income. It affected a lot. It was kind of like a domino effect. But I always looked at people who got depressed, I looked at them as weak. And when I looked at it, I was just like, okay, they're just not as strong as I am. But going through the real experience, I'm just like, okay, this is normal. It's normal for a person to feel like this. And it's good. I like to tell people it's good to go and talk to people about how you're feeling, because I've always been, for one, I'm a Cancer, but but I don't share a lot of my emotions. I don't share a lot of my emotions. So I always keep things in. So after a while, I just started, really just talking to people, having conversations. One of my friends is actually a therapist, so I was able to kind of talk. But another thing that I learned as far as entrepreneurship and just being a business owner, I had to shift. Like last year, I was running myself dead, just trying to give value to a lot of people. And I was doing tutoring sessions Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 p.m. And it was crazy. And one of my friends checked me. He was just like, yo, Steve, you created a business to have freedom. You created this to have freedom, but it sounded like you still at a job, And I was just like, yo, you're right. So what I did was, and then I have multiple businesses too. So I have a tech startup, which is a mobile app, a real estate technology platform that I'm developing. And we actually launched in 2019. And we're actually revamping the technology now to do our relaunch, our official launch. It was a beta launch before. And then I have a Bite Sub, which is a vending machine company. And then I have Plural, which is a travel accessories brand. So with juggling all of those businesses, I have a team, but also it's just kind of like you have to scale out different days, and I have to have time management. So being a new person in full-time entrepreneurship, I didn't understand that. I used to look at it like, okay, I can do everything on my time, but I can't. I got clients. I still got to make time for family. Still got to have a social life, things like that. So what I did was I started putting in kind of like a schedule, like where I focus one day I focus on this business, the other day I focus on that business. Fridays are my days off. I don't do anything business related on Fridays. And then on the weekends, I have Saturday is self-care Saturdays. So I go out, I relax. I might go get a massage. I might, get my feet done or something relaxing. Or I might just go out and get a book or something and just really unplug. That way, I'm not as in tune with everything through the week. So I go hard Monday through Thursday. And with this schedule in place, I've been working kind of to polish it, but it's been helping me a lot because I'm at a lot more peace now. I've scaled back on my tutoring sessions. So I make time for myself, but I also make time for my customers too. And it's been helping a lot. I think that mental health, without your mental, you can't do anything. And I learned that the hard way. It's just really like it affects you. So it's good. I tell a lot of people, shy away from going to seek therapy and talking about different things. It's some people that's experiencing childhood trauma and they still haven't dealt with that, So it's just like a lot of different things that you want to deal with when it comes to just dealing with your mental health, being, really being, real with yourself. I think the biggest thing is just being real and transparent with yourself, saying, hey, I'm having this issue. This is a problem. If I can't fix it myself, I need to speak to somebody about it. And it's been helpful. It's been a relief. I've been more relaxed, and it's definitely been a journey.
Thank you so much for your vulnerability and transparency with all of that, because I think a lot of people forget the importance of tending to one's mental health. Yes, secure the bag, but you want to be able to be in the mental capacity to be able to manage it and steward it well. And a lot of people don't necessarily understand that. Another thing too, even when it comes to like options or even stocks, I remember reading this quote that was saying, history doesn't repeat itself. It's
Right.
human behavior that repeats itself. And so if you're not mindful of your own human behavior, you're going to be coming up on the same mistakes and same errors on a consistent basis. So learning to take those self-care activities and applying them, like even with your course, when I was struggling towards the beginning, I found myself creating a journal of like all of my trades and like what emotions were associated with each trade, like what caused me to move forward and make the decisions that I made. How did I feel after I made the trade? Where was I at in this time span? So I definitely encourage everybody to create these intersectionalities between who you are as a human being and the things that you do with your finances. Let's see, there was another question. How would you approach doing options with a 9 to 5? I got a little knowledge on the Greeks, but I want to know what criteria I should be looking for on Finviz for a small account, $500.
Okay, so he asked a couple of questions in one thing, so I'm gonna cover one thing at a time. So as far as trading options with a full-time job, I did it. It's definitely doable. As far as that, if you have a 9 to 5, you just have to be realistic about yourself and how much time do you have to do your due diligence. A lot of things, people tell me a lot of new traders, they say, oh, I don't got time. And you have time. You just don't want to make time. The time that you watch Netflix at home on the weekends or, things like that, it's just like you have to make time. So realistically, what I did when I was in the corporate was Sundays was my nights where I researched my stocks for the whole week. And I set up a trading plan throughout the week. And I knew what entries I was going to enter in, what stocks I was going to enter, what type of entry I was going to make, a call or a put, based on any type of news, earnings, things like that. But also, as far as trading with a 9 to 5, realistically, you don't have time to day trade. So my best advice would be is to look at that expiration, which is the most important thing. I got away from doing weekly expirations anyway, unless I'm day trading. But usually I'll go 2 to 3 weeks out, maybe a month out, maybe even 2 months out. If you're starting small, you can go like 2 or 3 weeks out. And usually you're going to be more profitable because, for one, with the Greeks, as we're talking about Greeks, you have theta, which is equivalent to time decay. So theta is pretty much the price you pay every day to be in that options contract. As you get closer to your expiration date, theta kind of kicks in and it's more aggressive. And ideally, theta's job is to kind of eat up all your profits and gains by expiration. So a lot of times, if you held the options call to its expiration date, which you should never do, it will expire. So the goal is put your expiration out. Putting your expiration out gives you more time. For one, it gives you more time to be right. It gives it time for the stock to actually go up and progress and the price action to move. Second, theta isn't as aggressive. So, like, just for example, if you were trading Apple, and you had an expiration for April 30th, which is Friday, the theta may be $44. But if you went out a month out, the theta may be $5 a day. So that makes a big difference, because if you're holding that trade, your profits are getting eaten up. But if you're in a longer options contract, it's usually going to be a lot more profitable. So anyone that is in a 9 to 5 working a job, I would focus on being more so a swing trader and not a day trader. So that means you're getting this position, you're getting a call option, you're setting it out to maybe 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a month out, and then you're just playing off of that growth. And don't be afraid to take profits at 20%, 30%. Everybody wants to make thousands of dollars and things like that. If you're starting off, start with 1 contract, scale yourself up. After you get more comfortable, do 2 contracts, 3 contracts. But the goal is really to be consistent. Like I tell people all the time, if you're starting off, if you're trading and you make $50 a day off every trade, say you do 1 trade a day, $50 a day off each trade, that's $12,500 that you make from the stock market out of the year. It's 252 trading days in a year. So you got to have, like, that's still my mindset to this day. And I have $1,000 days, but that's my mindset. I'm taking profits immediately. Like, I was up like 83% today on NIO from a swing that I did last week, took profits. Amazon, I was down $200. Amazon shot up off of news from a rumor of a stock split that may happen Thursday, but it's a rumor once they report their earnings. But it made the stock jump. And I was down one day, and that's why we go back to emotions. Where she was talking about emotions earlier. I could have sold last week when I was down $200. I could have panicked, but I was just like, my expiration isn't until Friday, so I'm just like, I'm going to hold it. I know Amazon has earnings on Thursday, and I'm glad I did hold it. So it's just really, you got to be patient. You got to be real with yourself, patient with yourself, and not panic sell. A lot of people, they get into the market, they start investing, and they look, and they're down 30%, but the expiration is out for 3 weeks. Like, why are you selling? You only lose money when you sell. If you hold it, you may recover your losses and plus more, which I did with Amazon. So I think the biggest thing is just really, if you're starting out, focus on swing trading, pitch your expiration out. As far as the Greeks, I covered theta. Delta is a good one that you want to leverage. Delta is going to tell you how much you're going to make per dollar per dollar that the options price goes up. So let's just say if Apple is at $125 a share right now, and your delta is $40. That means that if Apple goes up $1, you're going to make $40 for every dollar that it goes up. So those, knowing theta and leveraging delta, that's going to allow you to use proper risk management on your trades. But putting your expiration out, that's gonna allow you to be more profitable in general. I hope I answered that question.
And if he didn't, I need you to hit the link in my bio to get into the course and to register and do all that jazz, because y'all essentially getting a free tutoring session from Stephen right now.
Definitely free, because I definitely charge. But yeah, I don't mind at all. It's crazy. I've been talking, and I've been talking about really starting to try to go live more and kind of talk more, do more video content. So this is good. This is good. So anywhere I can help, I'm happy to be a resource. If you guys have questions, just shoot me a message. Oh yeah, FinViz. As far as FinViz, he said I'm being greedy. As far as FinViz, so FinViz you can use for two ways. It's a stock screener. So I use FinViz to find penny stocks. So penny stocks is going to be good because you can go over there, filter by price. Penny stock is really anything considered under $10. So you can go over there in the filter, in the screener, select under price, under $10. And then after you do that, you want to filter for volume, anything that has high volume on it. So volume is good to be leveraged because that's going to let you know how many people are actively trading the stock. So a spike of high volume on the stock is a great sign of price increase. And we play volume a lot when it comes to options too. But that's a way to find penny stocks. If you're using it for options, you can kind of leverage it like different ways. So what I do is I go in, I'll set a price. I really don't set a price. I kind of put in more of the technicals. So I go in and under the technicals, I'll select RSI under 60. So RSI stands for Relative Strength Index. If you don't know, if you're trading, anytime that RSI is over 70, that's a bad time to enter a trade. Usually the stock is going to sell off after. So what you want to do is you always want to make sure the RSI is lower than 70. My rule is 60, honestly. So I go in FinViz, I'll look for stocks that's under 60. And that has great volume. And a lot of times you're able to kind of go see what stocks are being heavily traded for the day. And then also you're able to get good entries on them also.
Love it. I hope that answered your question. Seriously, I'm surprised Steve was going live. Yes, this is rare. I had to hit him up. Love it.
I'm gonna start going live more, man. I'm camera shy. I can do the Zoom calls and stuff like that, but I really don't like the
and even with the Zoom calls, you have your camera off, so it's just like
no. Sometimes I have them on. Most of the time, I have them
sometimes.
On the mastermind, I do most of the time. That's funny. That's funny. But yeah, man, those are just a few gems. FinViz is a good stock screener. If you want to find stocks to actually trade for options and your new options, you can use barchart.com. You can go to options, go to the options folder, or just click on options and then go to most active options. That's going to show you the most heaviest traded options for the day. It's updated in real time, and it's also going to show you the call to put ratio. So call to put ratio is going to let you know pretty much how many % of people are putting in call contracts and put contracts also.
Yes, definitely. Young Suave said, I need to join your class, Steve. You explain everything too easy. Yes, and he's always like this, straight up. Like even on the one-on-ones and the tutoring sessions, it's just straight up. So the only way that you'll get back what you put in is if you come ready with your questions, just like how you're doing right now, and just like be upfront with what your goals are. Like we said, SMART goals, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-oriented, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Don't let your anxiety get in the way. Don't allow the fear of the future and the fear of the unknown from keeping you from getting this money, because like the community is real. So make sure that you're joining, okay? And as always, like I mentioned, please hit the link in my bio. You will see the link specifically, learn how to options trade. And then from there, you just tap in and then boom, there you go.
Thanks.
But Stephen, thank you so much for your time and your wisdom, okay? Because like you mentioned, like you're always doing 50 million things. And so I greatly appreciate you for tapping into my audience and sharing this wealth of knowledge, okay?
Yeah, no problem at all. I'm happy to be a resource. If you guys have any questions, you can reach out to me. I'm happy to help anyone with any investing tips or anything like that also.
Definitely. And once again, y'all, my name is Sierra Hillsman. I'm the official person for Legacy Speaks. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Head over to the Legacy Speaks podcast where you'll catch the replay of this. And then all interviews will also be on my YouTube channel as well to tap in. But don't forget to get your entry into this course as well. All right. But Steve, thank you so much. And I will see you in the group chat in the Slack. Okay.
No problem. Thank you for having me again.
No
Have a good
problem.
evening.